You got the pistachio.
I ate my piece.
That's gonna be loud. Good. What did you go for?
Some chocolate.
Chocolate donuts.
I don't know
if everybody knows our handful of avid listeners that Bo brings donuts every episode, which is pretty great.
But they're vegan donuts.
Or pretty bad, yeah. Vegan donuts.
But you wouldn't know if you just ate it. I couldn't tell.
A donut's a donut. It's all fried sugar. All right, we're just going to kick into it. We're on episode 5. Number 5 of the Madrid Boardcast today. Haven't done an episode since last year. It seems like time's really flying by.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Time.
Happy New Year. It's 2023. We're doing episode 5. And today we've got Daniel Yeager in the studio.
Sir, what's up?
Current team manager at Madrid Skateboards. Current pro.
Yep.
Pro member. So how long you been on the team as a pro, Daniel?
I've been on the team for a few years now. I think I got on in 2019.
2019.
And then turned pro shortly a year later, I think.
So when you hopped on, was it like street team, like flow stuff? They were just sending you boards? How did that come together?
Yeah, well, I was leaving Mystery Skateboards at the time, and Shane Maloney, our old TM and photographer.
Shout out Shane.
Shout out Shane. Awesome dude. Hooked me up. Asked if I wanted to get on the team and try out the boards, and I was down because I was already writing for flypaper grip tape.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, for some reason it never occurred to me to ride the Madrid boards.
You had a different board sponsorship at the time, but we're using flypaper grip.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, well, I was on flypaper since 2015.
Was that through Shane as well?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So really been a part of the full circle thing for quite a while.
That's awesome. And so your first pro model hit last year?
No,
2 years? 23 years.
October, I think.
So roughly 3 years now.
Yeah, at the end of the year, it'll be 3.
Sick.
So time went by quick.
So you were skating for Madrid, kind of on the street float am type style for 2 years?
Yeah, kind
pre-pro
of
model?
One of their only street riders, new guy. I guess it was Shane's idea to kind of bring in and create a street team. And has me as their main dude. I mean, he already had Desmond Lane on. Super awesome guy, but he's just more focused on bowls and transition,
Yep.
Skate street also, but
shout out Des.
But yeah, I was super hyped to come in as the
Mystery Skateboards. What was that about?
It was cool. It was a little run. It lasted about a year. It was fun while it lasted, but I don't know what happened. I was getting boards for a little bit, and then it kind of ended. Stopped getting boards and
just
tried
fizzled.
too hard.
Just fizzled.
Yeah.
That's
kind of fizzled
not
away,
uncommon in the skateboard world.
Stopped getting boards, but it's all good. I still like those guys.
Still part of Jamie Thomas's deal at the time? Or?
Not anymore. I think he handed off quite a while ago. I'm not sure who owns that now. It might be Surplus. Maybe not.
But it doesn't matter because you're not on there anymore. You're riding for Madrid.
Nope. It's all about Madrid.
That's right. That's in the past. Let the past be the past. No, that's what this whole podcast is about, the past. So it's probably kind of nice for some of our few listeners to get some new young blood in here. We'll step away from the old fogey glory days.
Wait a minute.
The glory days tales. Well, take us back a little bit further. So you grew up in Oklahoma?
Yes. How far back do you want to go? Just kind of.
Well, let's go back to. Starting skating for sure. So as a young buck in Oklahoma, what made you start skating?
Yeah, I grew up in Oklahoma, this town called Guthrie, Oklahoma. I lived there for about 20 years before making the move out here. But yeah, I grew up skating there. Started when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I think. I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me. His name's Matt. And he started first, and then I think I just wanted to be kind of cool like him and his friends. Yeah. So I started. But before each of us skated, we really started by playing the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video games.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
I saw it here and there, and it just looked fun. And I started sort of late to some people. I know some people skate when they're 5 or whatever.
9 or 10's pretty young for how far you've progressed.
But I didn't do anything with it at first. It
Yeah.
was really just the first like 4 years of just buying Walmart boards and ride around and not even know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like nobody
Yeah.
trained me or anything. So
So what was your first? Would you consider your first like legit skate company actual board, not a not a Kmart board?
so the first pro board I ever got, it was for Christmas one year. Can't remember how old I was, but it was a Bam Margera Element board.
Nice.
It was like red and white, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just with
And-
probably just a logo.
Yeah, my grandma got it out of CCS magazine
Yeah.
back in the day. I think
Sure.
I just chose it one time
Yeah.
and got it. I had Destructo trucks, and I can't remember what wheels and bearings or any of that stuff. But
That was
it was
probably
cool. I
the
had it
time
for a
when
while.
Bam was making a lot of
yes,
dollars.
it was like
off
his
those
prime. It
boards.
was like
Yeah.
People of Bam. Like that's
Yeah.
all I watched. I was
Yeah.
obsessed. CKY, all that stuff.
Yeah. Testament to the reach of that
Yeah.
show and exposing people to skateboarding
Right.
and stuff. It's crazy.
Probably too young to be watching that stuff.
Yeah,
but
for
you know
sure.
what? It was cool, and that's what I grew up.
What area is Guthrie in, like in relation to, say, Oklahoma City or, big metro kind of areas?
Not too far. Like it's Oklahoma City, and then north of that is Edmond, and then a little bit north of that is Guthrie.
Yeah.
So it's a part of the Oklahoma City area, I
Gotcha.
think, and that's where I skated more often.
Sure.
Whereas like Tulsa is a lot more north. It's like a couple hours away.
Okay.
And that's a whole other like vibe up there.
Yeah.
Um,
So would you go into the city per se when you got old enough to start kind of like street city skating?
Yeah.
or-
At first it was just around Guthrie in my town. That was like before I could drive or anything.
Sure.
We would literally just go skate after school. This was junior high, I think.
Mhm.
Around 7th or 8th grade is when I really got into it and would like start actually trying tricks.
Yeah.
Like whatever stairs and
Yeah.
gaps we found around town, we would
Yeah.
skate. And there was a little crew before me that we kind of looked up to. So all the spots were already there,
Yeah.
and I would
What,
just
what were the spots? I mean, for
little
me,
hometown spots.
I remember
not really
like
spots.
Yeah,
just
my
like,
my thing was I remember Banks Post Office.
yeah,
like
3-stair.
What was the Guthrie
3 stairs,
spot? Yeah,
4-stair,
totally.
maybe like 2 handrails.
Yeah,
Little baby, maybe like a loading dock. Your classic
totally.
like
Yeah.
Midwest hometown,
Yeah.
crusty spots. But
Yeah.
I kind of think that's like what builds someone.
Well, that
disciplines.
goes back to
Absolutely.
like what they've always said about just the landscape of how skateboarders see a urban landscape as not just cities and
Yeah,
urban
it's-
development, but how can I turn this into something
Right.
and how can I skate this, and you see things differently as a skater. It's like the whole landscape
Absolutely.
changes once
Oh
you
yeah,
start
my
rolling
whole
around.
my whole mindset changed once
Totally.
I like started seeing like everywhere we would drive. When my parents would take us anywhere, you just look at everything as
Yeah.
a skate spot by that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, we need to
Totally.
pull over, or, whatever. And
Were there kids? You said there was like a couple kids a little older than you in town, like
yeah, just like
as
my
inspo to you skating
just like
around?
my brother's friends. They skated, but no one really took it serious. It was just kind
Sure.
of like just for fun. And
Yeah.
I had my own like little crew, I guess, a couple
Yeah.
good friends, and eventually, my friend Juan Chavez, he was like my hometown best friend, and Alex Dorio, shout out to them. It was kind of us three, and then our other friends around that. But we took it like we progressed more than everyone else, I think.
Yeah.
And Juan got the camera.
Yeah.
Just a like classic story.
Yeah.
One of the friends started filming, and it was like me and Alex and a couple other friends, and we just grew up. And then once we started being able to drive in high school, then we started going out to Oklahoma City, Midwest City, all these other towns that we knew were spots and skate parks and stuff were.
Was there a presence in Guthrie at all, like a local shop or any kind of a
No,
park?
there was never been a shop in Guthrie.
No skate
Really,
shop.
there was one that lasted like a year, I think, that someone tried to open. And they just like they were new to it. I would love there to be like a skate shop.
Yeah.
And we have one skate park that was built like 2007 or
In
8
Guthrie
or
proper?
something. Yeah.
Actually in town?
And now it was like on a tennis court on the west side, and I lived right behind that,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. So I could like look out my back door and see if anyone's kind of over at the park
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
go over there. That was a pretty blessing.
Hmm.
That was fun to have. But eventually it was like made out of wood,
Yeah.
and it kind of just
Yeah.
A
deteriorated.
few Midwest
and
winters
They
destroyed
took,
that
they took
sucker.
it out.
Yeah.
Now it's like Now it's like a prefab spine ramp and one flat bar.
Nice. Well, so was your closest connection to shops and skate culture and parks, like that would have been Oklahoma City?
Yeah,
Do they
it'd be
have
like Oklahoma
parks at the
City
time?
and Midwest City.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this indoor park called Industrial Skate Park, and this was in Norman, Oklahoma, and that's where a lot of my that was like the training ground. That was like my barracks. We would go
Nice.
there like once a week, until I could really drive.
Yeah.
And we'd go there all the time.
Yep.
Meet other skaters and just make more friends, practice tricks, learn stuff. And this was when I was about from 17 to like 20,
Mm-hmm.
just like those few years is when I was
I
skating.
mean, that
industrial.
was my peak skateboarding years.
I was like really learning everything, trying
Yeah.
to film as much as we could.
Yeah.
What was the setup at the skate park? Was it janky or was it
No,
pretty good?
it was nice. It wasn't like huge, but it was like pretty mellow. But the guy who owned it, Jeff Davis, shout out. He just did like little A-frames and rails. It always had a mini ramp, but it was cool. They changed it at least like once a year.
Nice.
You'd go
That's
in
good.
and rebuild stuff, which is pretty crazy.
So you're primarily, I mean, I guess you consider yourself a street skater. Were you
Yeah, pretty
skating any
much.
kind of vert type stuff back in the day, or just strictly flatland street stuff?
No, I actually grew up skating mini ramps
Nice.
around the same time as flat ground.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. That's what with me is like I enjoy skating a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Not just street, but I like mini ramps. I'm not going crazy in the bowls or anything
Sure.
like that. I'll skate like a mini bowl.
Yeah.
But I've always been fascinated with mini ramps, especially after like the Cheese and Crackers video came out. That's really what drove
Yeah.
Chris Haslam and
Day one.
Daywan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daywan Song. One of my
Dude,
favorite
it's
skaters for
ridiculous.
sure.
Yeah.
Manuals too. Like I just grew up watching every skate video.
Yeah.
So I would watch.
And so
like,
what year would this have been roughly? So you're 17 to 20.
man.
So what years are we talking there?
Well,
I'm trying to think what was the prevalent video hitting around that time, or I remember I mean, to me even
2012.
like Yeah Right.
yeah. Well,
Completely
that was like
blew my mind.
I was a little bit
you know?
younger when that
Yeah.
when that came out. But yeah, I grew up watching like Yeah Right,
Yeah.
Fully Flared. I remember when that one released. We went to the skate shop
Yeah.
and bought that. Got super stoked.
Yeah.
What else? Like grew up watching Baker 3, New
Yeah.
Blood, all the Transworld videos.
Yeah.
I just watched everything as a kid and wanted to skate everything. I never really stuck to one specific type of skating.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of figure out what I was good at. And
Yeah.
just generally skated ledges,
Mhm.
rails, ditches. That's why like a lot of my parts nowadays try to be a little bit adverse and just have a little bit of everything.
Totally.
Not just stick
Yeah.
to one specific type of skating.
I think we've kind of like sold you as, and maybe you kind of consider yourself like a pretty technical street skater. Would that be a pretty accurate description of
that's-
your style and your
Yeah,
interest?
it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I guess it's just what I kind of grew into, being
Yeah.
able to like flip my board out of
Yeah.
tricks and into stuff.
Was there a moment in your skating when you realized that you were good? Did you surpass your buddies that you were skating with, or you guys kind of stay on an even keel, or did you kind of go, okay, like I'm figuring this out a little bit better than my buddies. I can do things.
Yeah, that was a different time.
Yeah.
Probably when I was 16 or so, and it's really just like all my friends or whoever else like hyping me up, I guess.
Started
Telling
getting
me,
cocky.
"Oh, you're the best skater in town," or whatever, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, "No," like, and I try to be modest. It's like
Yeah.
Alex is, because like,
Right.
and we each skate a little bit differently. Like Alex hucks down giant stuff, switch flip like 10 stairs. I just don't do that. I have my
Yeah,
own
yeah.
thing, but it was cool. And
Did you say you two had a friendly, unspoken competition when you were kind of like?
oh
coming
yeah,
up and
not
getting
even
good.
not even competition really, unless it was like games of skate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
just
we'd
pushing
go
each
back
other.
and forth. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just hype each other up and go skate and build off each other. You
Yeah.
know, just kind of learn together as we get older.
So at what point did you, or was there a point when you made a conscious decision that like, I'm going to go for this, right? I'm going to move
Mhm.
to California. I'm going to pursue this. Like, this is something that I can actually become pro at. Was there a conscious moment, or was it just like, this is kind of the next step after all these years of skating?
Yeah, definitely. There was a while where I was learning, and I was trying to get sponsored by whoever
Mhm.
and anyone, and I was like 17 or something when we were filming, And eventually what happened is I met some people over at Endurance Skateboards out of Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Okay.
and knew about them. And the owner, Joel Holmes, started hooking me up. And this was, I think I was 18.
Mhm.
I have all my dates and stuff. They're all shot. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, just wait till you get a little older.
Yeah.
It'll get worse and worse, man.
I remember events like skating at spots and everything like that. But I remember he sent me a package, and I think once I got some endurance boards, it was like a switch. I
Mhm.
changed up my clothes a little bit,
Yeah.
like I started wearing like kind of like all black, tighter jeans, and like my style started to form. As soon as I got that package of
Mhm.
endurance boards, I went to the skate park and learned like 5 tricks immediately. I think it was just a big
Yeah.
confidence
That's
boost.
sick. Yeah.
Sure.
And I was like,
Of
oh,
course.
this is like legit.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody's
eventually.
believing in you. And
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out Endurance.
Shout out Endurance.
Endurance.
Joel,
That's great.
9-1 Skate Shop, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was a good little era. I rode for Endurance for at least like 5 years, I think.
Rad.
And what happened is they got me in contact with their pro rider at the time, Zach Archuleta. Shout out to him. He helped me make the move from Oklahoma to California. And I think it was Zach and Joel's idea. They just believed in me and thought I should at least try it. And, when they mentioned it to me, I was like, man, that's a pretty crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
My mom couldn't believe it. Parents, I
Had you
threw
ever
it at
been out
them.
here? Had you ever
No.
traveled west?
I'd
Yeah.
never been out here before.
Yeah.
Basically, I had like a shared room already paid for. Like I saved up, had this room paid for the first month before I even moved out there.
Mhm.
My mom was like all nervous about it. She's
Sure.
like, "How do you know this isn't a scam? Like I've never met this guy.
Catfish.
Can we?
You're gonna
Can
get
you call?
catfished.
I need to talk to him on the phone."
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
and
of
then they
course.
talked and like
Were you like a legal adult at the time? You're talking like 17. Had you become?
Yeah, I
you
was,
Were, you were old enough to make your decisions.
no,
anyway,
this
right?
was I was 20 at the time.
Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
mom's not gonna stop you anyway. So
No, yeah. So, no, she understood it
Yeah.
and believed in me too.
that's
So-
awesome. So is she supportive of,
Oh,
this
yeah.
whole racket of skating and,
Mhm.
and you kind of pursuing your
Yeah.
dreams of skating and stuff?
Yeah, mom
That's
and
great.
dad, they always supported me,
Awesome.
bought me boards whenever I wanted, and
That's
they didn't take
Heck
it
yeah.
too serious at first. I think
Sure.
just like any parents, they're just like, oh, this kid's
It's a hula
my,
hoop.
my
It's a
kid
hobby.
skates, yeah. And then once they saw I was getting like packages and stuff, and showed them
Yeah.
like content and
Yeah. You're like,
How
look,
it
I'm getting
worked.
free boards. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
legit. I'm not paying for these.
hmm I don't know what I would have done if I didn't get hooked up. There was college like in the talks,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It just never really came about. Never went to college. If I did, it would have probably been either for like music production or
Mhm.
like video or photography,
Sure.
some along the lines of that. Or-
Some creative.
yeah.
Some, yeah. So at the time, like when you said, your friend got a hold of a camera, were you guys like shooting and putting together parts and like actually sending out sponsor me tapes to companies? Or was it like we would just sit around and watch our own skate videos? That's how I was. We would just go film and then watch our
yeah,
own videos.
we at first, we would just like watch our own, but eventually, like, I think it just slowly got more serious as he progressed his camera equipment
Mhm.
and his way of filming, and we would just film for fun and make little edits for YouTube, stuff like that. But eventually, I would put all my street clips together and like send them off to companies, but it really never ever worked, especially the big ones. I mean, never heard anything back, which I don't blame them. Like it, just some random dude
Yeah.
from Oklahoma skating, probably like
Right.
I had pretty bad style back in the day too. Still think I do, but it's gotten a little better.
Do you have any memories of specific companies that you sent like sponsor tapes to that either
Yeah.
you got ghosted or maybe at least some constructive feedback or anything?
Just like a couple, I think, like America, I've sent some
Mhm.
to, and sometimes they'll like respond and just like, thanks for the footage,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
good stuff, keep it up.
Right.
And even just hearing that from them is
Yeah.
like enough to keep me going.
It's
And,
better
like,
than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
because I'm
awesome.
just throwing my stuff out there to like just
Yeah.
to see what would happen.
Totally.
Even if I don't even wear their stuff,
Yeah.
I'm just looking for emails
Yeah.
and
Sure.
sending.
You're happy to wear
sending
their
the link.
stuff if
Yeah.
the opportunity arises.
Right.
Well, you're a TM now, so you understand getting unsolicited
exactly.
sponsoring tapes over there.
I'm in that position now. So
Yeah.
I'm like on the other end. I'm up there.
Yeah.
And kind of see it firsthand.
Yeah. So you mentioned, college was not really on the table. You didn't really, that wasn't even an option at the time. At this point now, say 10 years down the line from that point, do you have a fallback? Do you have a plan for post skating, or is it just, ride these four wheels till you can't anymore?
Now,
you know?
yeah, I mean,
That's the
I don't
plan,
know.
right?
I'm still there.
Either, yeah. Well, or if we're gonna like skip to now, currently, I'm just pretty happy to be in the position I am here,
Totally.
and also with all the knowledge I have in like restaurants, like maybe have a restaurant one day. That'd be cool.
How long have you been in that industry, side hustling?
Yeah, I've been working in restaurants since I was like 16.
Yeah.
You know.
So back before you even moved out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely a thing like turn 16, get a job.
Yep.
You know, my parents pushed that.
Yep.
Very disciplined growing up, and I needed money anyways
Yep.
for gas and
Yep.
food, and my parents taught me that you got to work for these things.
Yep.
And they helped me.
Shout out
obviously.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they helped me, of course, but I think I don't even trying to remember how I even got into the industry. I think I just applied for like a busboy position
Yeah.
at like this restaurant in
Yeah.
town and started doing that, and eventually moved to like fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a little bit of both, like front of house and back of house,
Mm-hmm.
and tried to just learn as much as I could. But I just really enjoyed the kitchen and being
Yeah.
in the back.
Do you
And-
consider? Are you a foodie? Are you a fan of eating, or is it just more like
Yeah,
the excitement and the craziness of working in a kitchen in the industry? Or do you like?
Playing with
Are you like a
knives.
food snob?
Yeah, a little bit of
playing
both.
with knives, lighting things on fires.
Exactly. It's like an adrenaline rush, especially like the those top dollar restaurants.
Totally.
The really nice ones. I've only been in like a couple, but
Yeah.
it's just a crazy environment.
Yeah.
You can be yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lot to learn. You're multitasking, and it's just fun making food. It's not like hard like at home. Like there's home cooks and there's restaurant cooks.
Yeah.
I can do both, but being in a restaurant, everything's laid out for you.
Right.
You prep the food, it arrives, and you make the orders, and there's something fun about that.
So you don't have to think about it as much in the actual restaurant scene.
Yeah,
as you
exactly.
do
It's
at
just
home.
like.
See, I love to cook at home, and I don't think there's any way I could ever be a professional cook or a chef because of the stress
Yeah.
and the high, the high stress, high anxiety of the
I think you
kitchen.
could do
Like,
it. It's-
at home, it's like jazz to me, man. It's like playing, it's
Yeah.
like I don't measure anything. I've never had a recipe. I just love
Oh,
to
man.
cook. But if I'm in a kitchen, like, high pressure, high stress, I think it would take all the enjoyment out for
Right.
me.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but you got to have thick skin
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
be on your feet all day.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed that, like
Yeah.
fulfillment, kind of like with skating,
Yeah.
like landing a trick.
It's high
It's
energy.
kinda, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
adrenaline rush, and you get to hang out with a lot of people. It helped me be social,
Yeah,
make friends. And
totally.
Office job's cool. But
Yeah. It sounds like you kind of thrive in the high energy.
yeah,
kind of,
it just brings me out a
yeah,
little bit more.
cool.
And
So you went from endurance then to mystery?
yes, exactly. I rode for endurance as I moved to California. Still rode for endurance for a few years, and then the reason I left endurance is like I think someone at Mystery maybe hit me up and like talked me over into getting on them, and I'm like, wow, Mystery is like a legendary brand.
How did
Like,
how did
that
how
would-
did that come to be? How did they reach out to you? Do you recall?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was because Mystery, I don't know if they still are, but same distribution as Thief Trucks.
Okay.
And I've been
Right,
riding for
right.
Thief Trucks the last
Right.
like 8 years.
Okay.
And someone from over there, can't remember, had like messaged me, and we talked a little bit, and said they were down to put me on and do all this stuff, and I was stoked. And called Joel one day, and he understood. He's like, yeah, this was supposed to happen eventually.
Right.
That's why you like kind of moved out there and
Sounds
see what
familiar.
happened.
Yeah,
Like
you know,
our
it's
farming
like-
team.
Yeah. Sounds like all the old Madrid riders.
He's
yeah.
like, I get it.
We knew this
No,
day would
yeah.
come. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I get it, and it's like, still on good terms. Obviously,
Yeah,
I love
sure.
I love them.
That's awesome. So when you came west,
Mm-hmm.
first time in California, Where did you go? Like, where did you relocate when you came out here? What was your first?
I moved to Huntington Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had this shared a room with some other skaters, like a little skater house kind of thing.
Was it the mystery guys that put that
No,
together? Or how
no,
did
not
that
at all. I was still on endurance when I moved here.
Right.
So
Okay.
I lived with Zach and some of his friends. Zach was pro for endurance at the time.
Gotcha.
He was like one of our only pros and super great guy. Drove me around the town and like helped me meet people, other skaters, people at the skate parks. Just like brought me into this world that I've like dreamed about.
Nice.
You know, when I first saw the ocean, I remember like going down PCH and just seeing it for the first time, and I was
changes
like,
your
"What?
life.
It's crazy,
is
right? Yeah.
crazy."
Totally. Yeah, man. That's life-changing stuff. The first view of the ocean, man, for sure.
Yeah, it was cool.
awesome.
And I lived there for about a year, maybe a year and a half. And I remember at the time he had met his wife now,
Mhm.
and they were planned on moving out, and everyone else, and I had to go my own way, and that's
Yeah.
where I really learned, you know, I've got to like really do this
Yeah.
myself, and I got to learn all these things. You know, I got to get a new license, learn how to
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Learn what
apply-
rent. Learn what
app-
rent is like
yeah,
in
apply
Southern
for
California.
things and get a car and
Yeah.
you know, and it was tough. You know, I had to hop around and sleep on couches for
Totally.
a little bit,
Yeah.
share rooms with people here and there, and for a few years, and that's just the kind of skater lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Couch
is.
surfing for a bit.
Was there ever a moment when you doubted yourself or what you were going to be able to do? Did you go, oh man, like I came all the way out here. I'm paying X amount of dollars to sleep
Right.
on, share a couch in a room with somebody. What have I done? Or were you like,
May-
it's just part of paying the dues. I got this.
Maybe back in the back of my mind,
Yeah.
but I knew if I ever needed to go home, I would have there's a home for me.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Right.
I didn't want to make that an option. I just wanted
Yeah.
to stick it out as much as I could. So
Yeah.
kept working in restaurants and, you know, to make money
Yeah.
and skate on the side and just, the skater lifestyle, except probably working more than skating. So just because, like, the discipline, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like a skater that just was broke all the time. and
Right.
Had to beg for, I was just,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just how I grew up
Yep.
in the work environment.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And yeah, I had enough money to pay for rent here and there, move around, and eventually met my fiance now, 6.5 years ago.
That's right.
And that-
Congrats.
thank
Daniel's
you, appreciate
engaged.
that.
Get married this year.
Getting married at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Stoked.
Shout out marriage.
I love her. I love Tara.
Shout out
we have
Tara.
We have
That's
a
a
great
good thing.
relationship.
Awesome.
Yeah, once I met her, really super smart, helped me, kind of get back up on my feet,
Rad.
and take everything more serious,
Heck
and
yeah.
just like a life partner,
Yep.
you get it.
What does she do?
She works in like the makeup industry,
Nice.
office job. She's a college girl, out of my league. So I got
Way to lock it down.
You're
Got-
marrying.
Gotta
Yeah.
put a ring on it, man. Good job.
yeah, I'm happy.
That's mostly all of us. Yeah. Same. When you were coming up, was there did you have a favorite pro? I feel like most people do. I know there. Maybe I did. If I didn't have a favorite pro, there were certain parts of videos that I remember seeing that were like, that makes me want to go skate. What was that makes me want to go skate, dude? For you?
My go-to is Chris Cole.
Nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
I worked at DC when he was
Okay.
still part of the team. He's
Oh, really?
phenomenal. Yeah. Chris Cole.
So-
Shout out Chris Cobra Cole. Rad.
He stuck out,
Yeah.
especially in the Zero videos.
Yeah.
And you can see him some of my tricks that I kind of emulate.
Yeah.
Because everything I do, it's really just stuff that's all been done before.
Right.
But kind of make it my own creative way.
That's it,
Like,
man. That's
with
skateboarding.
combinations and
Yeah.
things like that. So Chris Cole,
Nice.
Mark Johnson from
Epic.
uh,
America
girl
guy.
videos.
Yeah.
Man, so many Reynolds front
Oh,
side
yeah,
flips. That's
man.
how I learned
Yeah.
those.
Still out there crushing it too.
Yeah, so many skaters. It's hard to just name them all.
Yeah. So not necessarily a favorite, just the entire act of skateboarding was your
Yeah,
inspiration.
really. I grew up watching
Yeah.
everyone. A part
Totally.
of that era. Daewon Song was
Yeah.
how I got into manuals.
Yeah.
Him and Joey Brzezinski. My first skate video ever, by the way, is the FKD video. It was like just some random team video they put out in like 2005,
Okay.
maybe later than that. And which is funny is like I just started writing for them now, so I'm pretty stoked. It's like the first
Full
video
circle,
I ever
yeah.
watched. Joey Brzezinski doing like all these crazy manuals, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I need to learn those.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned like all my manuals.
And just a few months back, you had kind of a big video part kind of debut, yeah?
Yeah, I just put out a video
New part?
last October.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first ever like official VX 1000 like full length video
Yeah.
that I was a part of,
Awesome.
because before that was like my hometown stuff,
Mhm.
but we never really came out with a full length video.
Yeah.
It was kind of just we filmed for fun. We were supposed to, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So after that it was just really all HD individual parts,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome, but I had wanted to be a part of like a full video. So I just worked on this video with Aaron Johnson out of Long Beach, and we just filmed all like last year and got as much as we could.
And who was behind the
Like that.
release of that? Who was putting all that together?
It was really just Ajax filmed, and his roommate edited the whole thing. It's called Daily Operation. Super fun project that we worked on.
Where can listeners see that video? Is it
Yeah,
up on the
you
YouTubes?
just go on YouTube.
Daily
Hopefully-
Operation.
Yeah, look up Daily Operation.
Nice.
Aaron Ajax Johnson, shout out to him.
Nice.
Dude's super good. But yeah, I just put that out, and I would like to put out some more HD parts
Yeah.
moving forward, hopefully this year.
Awesome.
Work on something. I'd like to, once I get this Madrid team really established, work on a new video. That's kind of like the goal.
That's a good moment to tell us a little bit about a couple of the people that you've kind of brought on to Madrid here in the last few weeks. You want to mention those?
Yeah,
Those
I
people?
brought in a few people. We just announced Phil, super good writer, Phil Seja. I think I pronounced that right.
Apologies if we got that wrong, but
Yeah,
sounds
sorry,
close.
bud.
Phil Seger.
Really good skater. He has some incredible video parts out there, and just really underrated guy who I guess just never got picked up
Yeah.
fully from the
Slipped
industry.
through the
And
cracks.
I felt that, and
Yeah.
it didn't bother him. He's still skating and
Right.
putting out stuff, and I just loved his the way he looks at things.
Awesome.
Good family guy.
Rad.
So we just put him on, and we added this kid, Chris Mossy, kind of like a influencer skater, young kid, super tech, kind of Instagram, TikTok guy, but also really good in the streets.
Awesome.
Positive attitude.
Shout out Chris.
And then, yeah, I have some other stuff kind of lined up. It's really just very new to me.
Sure.
And
I want to get into this TM stuff because
Sure.
for our listeners, I was the TM way back in the day.
Mhm.
And I want to talk more about that. Like, so you're riding from Madrid, you're pro.
Yeah.
And how did you become the TM? Did Jerry just call you up and go, "Hey, now you're the TM. You're responsible for all these guys," or how did that all happen?
No, not necessarily. So
Because that's the way it happened
we'll
with
go
me.
back to with Shane Maloney. He was the
Mhm.
TM,
Right.
and he last year he moved. He was moving away, and it was a little bit harder to be a TM when you live in a different state.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sort of looking for someone new that can come in. And I forgot who. I think Shane may have pitched the idea to me, and I thought about it for a little while. I was like, well, I don't know. I work at a restaurant full time, and like I don't know how I would manage all this. And eventually, just like, if no one's gonna do it, let me step in.
Eventually, they
and
just wore
try.
you down.
It's
They
like,
just wore you down,
I'm already-
broke you down.
I'm already going to the office here and there to
Yeah.
like, see everyone, and I'm like, I might as well.
You got to go pick up boards anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a good way to get my foot into the industry
Yeah.
and learn some things.
So explain what your responsibilities are as a TM.
Yeah, so responsibilities. First, I come in and I complete all our website orders. So people that order online, I print out all the paperwork, give it to the warehouse. I'm also responsible for just making sure the entire team is stacked with boards and
Mhm.
product, and that try and rearrange ways where they can get content, and then I share the content through social media. So I work on all our social media platforms and keep those updated, things like that, which still kind of new to me, being like the manager of something.
Yeah.
But I was a kitchen manager at one point, not totally different.
It's got to be way easier.
Genres, yeah. But I have some sort of background
Yeah.
managing a team, like aspect,
Yeah.
and
Well, and building the team, right? Because
Yeah,
we've had a
exactly.
little bit of a dry spell with, bringing on new writers and hooking up new
Yeah,
people. And so, in the last, when did you kind of take on the TM role here? The last couple months? Whenever that
just
was?
a few months ago. But
Yeah.
really, it's just the street team,
Yeah.
and I've been the main guy for the last couple of years with
Sure.
the pro board, which is awesome. But I just know that we can, Madrid's a legendary company,
Right.
and I know that we can thrive with street riders and
Totally.
the popsicle shapes,
Yeah.
too. So
Absolutely.
that's really what I'm aiming for, is just building a street team.
And you can
The
make it
team
up as you go,
stuff.
too.
Yeah, kinda.
'Cause
Yeah, it's
fake it till you make it, man.
yeah. For me, it was Jerry basically said, "Hey, we need a TM. You're working here. You're a pro. Now you're going to be the TM." So for me, it wasn't as much about content. It was hooking up the guys with Mofo or whoever the photographer was. For
No
the
Instagram back
threshold.
then,
Not too much.
No.
No.
Bless.
right?
Yeah.
Good old days.
But a lot of it was like herding cats. Like, we have this picture over here in the conference room of one of the tours that we did with the pros back in the days, and having that many diverse personalities, all trying to fit into one or two cars together and go into all these shops.
That's got to be tough.
It was.
Get everyone together, round them up.
Oh yeah, and everybody's got different dietary wants or needs, or personalities changing up. So it's kind of like herding cats, but you build these friendships and these relationships with these people over the years that will last forever, hopefully. So how many people are on the team right now, the street team?
3 officially, and I'm gonna announce a new one pretty soon. We're working on some things, but I'll
Can't announce yet, everybody. Just
keep that secret. Just,
stay tuned. Big enough.
You got to stay tuned if you're listening.
That's right.
Just keep an eye out.
That's why you subscribe.
You finally landed
yeah,
Chris
well-
Cole on the team. Very
Yeah.
Surprise! Well, that's it. This photo and the reference to cramming a bunch of people in a van and hitting the road. That that to me is that's what exposed me to so much as a young skateboarder. I don't know how much of that exists in 2023, or again, I'm not to show my age, I'm a little bit out of the loop these days. But in the early mid 90s, to me, the biggest thing was going to see these demos.
Right.
And these companies would cram in the van and they'd show up to your local park and they would
Oh,
just
yeah.
like Birdhouse to me was a big one. Like meeting
Right.
that was the first time I met Tony Hawk and those guys. Like in my era, a Birdhouse demo was a very memorable one. Have you really had any experience like hitting the road and traveling and doing those kind of things, whether it's demos or contests or?
A little bit, but not so much. I've gone on like a couple tours. I did a tour with Varsity Shades in 2019. No, wait, what am I talking about? This was a long time ago. 2013, I believe, maybe 12.
Okay.
And this was like a sunglass company, but that was pretty fun. It was like a group of us, like 5 of us. Did like a van tour all the way up to Maine, and we stayed at a Christian skate park camp place.
Interesting.
It was super fun. Hung out with kids, do demos, and come back all the way back down, and that was a good experience.
Yeah.
But really, other than that, not so much, unless it's you
Yeah.
consider driving 2 hours away with a couple dudes.
Yeah,
Tour,
sure. Yeah, that counts.
You can create your own king of the road.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be backed by.
That's kind of what we did.
Yeah,
by
for
Thrasher,
sure.
and that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, the pre-reality TV show world of demos was certainly big for me, because, you didn't have social media. You didn't have King of the Road. You didn't, it was like you go to your local park and you watch guys just show up and skate. It was huge,
Yeah, I do remember going to demos, like seeing
Yeah.
Baker Deathwish tour
Sure.
come over to
Yeah, yeah.
Edmond Skate Park and just being like blown away seeing
Yeah.
Reynolds 2 feet from me looking up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like Antoine Dixon and Lizard King and all these dudes, and like these guys are gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just seeing him rip my park, completely different than
Yeah.
how I have skated or
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it, like, you know, Hometown Hero skate it.
Totally.
Reynolds blasting like 360 kickflip melon grabs
Yeah.
on this hip.
Well, anything's mind blowing in person when you're used to just watching videos.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to see it on a little TV screen, but yeah, to witness it firsthand it's pretty epic. That was hugely game changing for me for sure. So then the question is, when is the current Street Team Madrid tour kicking off, and how do we
guess
what do we pitch that to Jerry?
You gotta
Jerry
ask you
Madrid?
that. I
Yeah.
don't know. No.
And we have a van back there. I'm not sure how far that thing would make it.
Let's bring it out.
You might make it to NorCal, maybe.
Let's put it back together.
That's
try
it. Let's pitch it. Hey, we have a meeting this afternoon post podcast. Jerry, we're hitting the road again. So yeah, we're gonna need to get that van tuned up.
Maybe
Let's
we
hit the road.
Make it all the way to Long Beach.
Bring
It
back
might,
the
yeah, it
bring
might.
back the OGs. See if you can.
Nope.
Bo, you're gonna need to rally
Nope.
some of
Bo,
the
round
the
up.
troops too. Yeah, we'll do
I'll
we'll do
different
two
vans.
generation. Yeah.
I'll drive.
Put a vert ramp on one side and a little skate park on the other.
Well, so for me, and probably for Bo, not to speak for you, but there was certainly a period in my life when it was only skateboarding, 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week, 365 days a year. As you get older, and maybe it's that you have, other different priorities. Maybe you develop other interests. Some of that intensity for skateboarding fizzles out a little bit, or you just find yourself doing other things. Are you in a position now to where it's just skate, 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 skate? And if not, what's going on outside of skateboarding?
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, I'll probably be obsessed with skateboarding the rest of my life.
Sure.
Which is fine. But, like I said, I work another job, I work in the food industry, and I have a future marriage to look forward to give my energy into that and things. But really, yeah, skateboarding
That's still number
overcome.
one.
It's number one, and I had other interests growing up, like photography
Mm-hmm.
and filming.
And you mentioned a little bit of maybe music production stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of stuff like that. Like I
Yeah.
had a little mini DIY studio in Guthrie where I had a microphone and editing program, and
Nice.
I would like record for friends.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of like musicians,
Yeah.
like really just like friends that play guitar, but they were all pretty talented,
Yeah.
rappers, all that. They
Yeah.
come from. There's a lot of those in my hometown, so I would just have a little setup and try and help them out. And
That's awesome.
And just really learn as you go
Yeah.
and make little mixtapes and give to them.
Yep.
But that only lasted, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Had the keyboard and everything, and really just found instrumentals online. I didn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
make music myself, but it was fun.
Yeah. So you don't play music.
No, not really.
You're
I used
interested
to
in
do
the
keyboard
technical aspect.
a little bit of keyboard
Producing.
back in the day, and that was
Yeah.
fun, but it kind of went away.
And you-
Really, skateboarding stuck out of everything.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You're a music fan. You go
Yeah.
to a lot of shows.
Yeah, still
Listen to a
still
lot
a
of
music
music.
fan.
Yep.
Like to go to festivals here and there.
Yeah.
With my fiance, and
Nice.
she's a big music nerd too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have that going.
What
But-
are some of your favorite groups, 2023?
Oh man.
Or older? I mean, all my favorite bands, broke
Well, I
up years
listen to
ago.
so many different genres, but lately a little more post-hardcore
Yeah.
type. Not so much screamo anymore. That
Yep.
was like kind of teenager stuff. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of new bands that are cool and that introduce like pop and so many mixed genres nowadays. It's like hard to listen to everything. But I love going back and listening to some little bit of old school like Silverstein and
Sure. Okay.
AFI and
Mm-hmm.
maybe Green Day, Blink-182. Grew up with
Totally.
that. Sum
Yep.
41.
Sure. Sure.
But
All the post Green Day
Yeah.
sound. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say my favorite band now is like Dance Gavin Dance and
You
that
wearing
whole
the sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And that
Shout
whole they
out.
kind of created their own little genre.
Cool.
And like all those bands and go to shows when I can.
You skate every day?
No.
No. Say you skate
To be
every day.
honest.
You're a pro.
Every single day,
You're
24/7.
team manager, man. We're trying.
That's right. Got to set an example.
Yeah.
I skate about twice a week. And then as far as like doing tricks and really doing stuff, I have a cruiser board that'll hit, every other day,
Yeah.
which is cool. I guess that can
Just to roll
consider
around.
skating. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
totally.
go down the street.
Yeah.
But like really skating, all like 1 or 2 days a week, which
Mhm.
is fine. I just can't do it every single day.
Yeah.
Like as hard as I go.
Yeah.
Because I know myself. I will skate for as long as I can and try
Yeah.
learn a new trick that day maybe, and
Yeah.
just try for hours. And I'm just done for
Yeah.
the next few days, and then recovery.
Yeah.
Because I got a few injuries that kind of creep up
Totally.
here and there,
Yeah.
and
It takes its
can't-
toll.
Can't do it like I used to.
Yeah. Every now and then I still have people ask me, do you still skate? And I go, yeah, of course, but not to the capacity I did 20 years ago. But it's like you said, man. I mean, I think a lot of people, maybe it's 50-50. Everybody in this room is kind of a lifer. It's not as though Bo skates like he used to. It's not as though I skate like I probably did in my prime, but
Still skaters,
you
though.
live the life, man. Yeah, it's like I've never understood people that go, yeah, I used to do that when I was a kid, and they're
They
like, what do you mean you
used to.
still do it? It's crazy, man. If you love it, you love it, and then if you live it, you live it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Totally.
100%. I don't think you necessarily need to do like crazy tricks to be a skater or anything. If
Right.
you're on your board cruising around, you're
You're
Right.
a skater.
you're a skater, and
Totally.
that's just how it is. And
Yeah,
I respect that.
yeah, yeah. It's like loving it is enough. You don't really have to, especially as you get older. You find yourself. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I just love skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like it's never not fun, and we've talked about that on this podcast before. But even here at work, like grabbing a cruiser and just hitting the street at lunch break,
Mhm.
it's never not fun. Skating is never not enjoyable, and that should be enough.
Yeah.
I knew I was, again, I knew I was never going to be a pro, and like you coming up, I was in the same way. I came up with kids who got way better than me, way faster, and so I saw that. I saw kind of getting left in the taillights, but I'm also still here,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
and some of those guys aren't, some of those kids,
Yeah.
they did it and they got better or popular, or they got into it, and then it was like the next thing came along, and or they became adults and turned it into something they did in their youth, and not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that either, but
skating's fun. It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle. It's
That's
like,
it. It's
you don't
just-
do it to be pro or anything like
Yeah.
that. Some people just get really good and figure it out how to maneuver
Yeah.
certain ways.
Totally.
And other people just like to ride around and just feel the ground.
Yeah.
And, like sometimes I'll go to skate parks and not even do tricks. I'll just
Yeah.
ride around the mini bowls,
Totally.
carve, maybe a couple ollies up the step
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and not even
Mini
do
bowls
tricks.
and mini ramps. That's my
Uh-huh.
jam these days, all day long. Yeah, just carving, skating to skate.
Yeah,
As long as you got urethane on the ground. or-
Absolutely.
it's an individual thing.
Yeah,
It's all about you and your own board and your own journey with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2023 marks a new pro model of
Yes,
yours
sir.
coming out relatively soon. We don't have full details, but we've got some fun stuff planned for the release of your new pro model for next month.
Yeah. Second pro board. A couple of years later, I'm stoked to have this one. One of my friends designed it. He's actually like my neighbor, Matt. He did a cool job with it. It's hard to describe it in person. It's kind of just like a geometrical, like colorful
Yeah.
type of
Shout out
board.
Matt.
A lot different.
What's Matt's
Matt
last
Colaco.
name? Matt Colaco.
Thank you,
Shout
bro.
out for the graphic.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Cool dude.
it's very sick, and we're going to be doing a fun stuff for the release next month. But you gotta follow along.
Yeah,
and figure
we're
out what that is.
We just kind of got approved for that. So
Gotta get
we'll
the
plan
details
ahead.
before we announce. But yeah,
But hopefully by the time this is out,
totally.
things will be looking good for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to put out a new board.
Yeah.
I wish I had a whole video part to put out with it, but I just did one.
You just
So,
did, yeah.
let's-
We could have
a
synced
little
up
break.
the timing a little bit better there.
but it's all good. I've
yeah.
just been skating inside. And, the weather's
Yeah.
been kind of weird right now, raining a bunch.
Yeah, it's been
and
lousy.
I just been chilling,
Yeah,
skate here and there at night.
awesome.
Where's your favorite spot now?
Favorite spot? I mean, really just OC ramps now,
Yeah.
which isn't, it's not a spot, but
The warehouse.
I get to figure out what I want to skate.
Yeah.
It's like up to me. I can put out a rail or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
ledge
yeah.
or a ramp and do
That's
whatever I
rad
want.
luxury. Yeah.
And that's pretty fun. It's always nice to take a little break from the street skating.
Shout out
It
OC
takes-
Ramps.
It takes a toll. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love going to that warehouse and skating and building whatever I want.
Yeah. What else is on deck for 2023? You got a wedding coming up in the fall?
Yeah, just working, kind
New
of
pro model.
saving up for, this wedding
Yeah.
that we have planned for. Super stoked for that. It's gonna be amazing. We're kind of a nervous wreck about it, but it's just the planning
always
process.
are.
It is.
Yeah.
But by the time
Yeah.
it comes around,
I'll tell you,
we'll be happy with
I
it.
went through that a little over a year ago, and everything they say is true. When the day comes, it's going to fly by, and you'll wish you slowed down and remembered or enjoyed it
Yeah.
more, because it's just,
Well-
blink of an eye, and it's a lot of build up and a lot of stress, but yeah, just try to slow down day of and enjoy it, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's
the
It'll
tips.
fly by, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
celebration for you. You're not
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
it for everybody
Totally,
else.
yeah.
It's about me and her, and that's
Yep.
and
Don't
that's
cave
it.
to anybody but you two, and you just, try to enjoy it. Yeah, for sure, because
Yeah, thanks.
absolutely, man.
We're kind of just enjoying our engagement. to
Totally.
also
That's the whole point.
take
of it,
advantage
too,
of it
yeah.
while we can.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. You have any shout outs you want to throw out on the episode? It could be friends and fellows and companies that
Let's
hook you
see.
up.
Got a few sponsors. Shout out Madrid Skateboards, Flypaper Grip Tape, Autobahn Wheels, obviously them. Attic Skate Shop out of Costa Mesa. Good dudes over there. Thieve Trucks, FKD Bearings. What else? If you ever live in Costa Mesa or you're in the area, go to Vibe Restaurant. It's a 100% vegan place.
That's
It is
right.
Amazing.
Yeah, you're at Vibe. Yeah. You work at Vibe.
Yep, that's the
I'm
restaurant I worked at. Super cool people over there. I love that place.
Shout out Vibe. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, man. It's been good to get you in here. I know that it's,
Yeah, of course.
nice
It's
to get some fresh new young blood in
fresh,
here.
30 fresh.
You are compared to the other guys we've had in so
Yeah,
far.
for sure.
Okay.
For sure. And
We'll-
man.
we'll go even younger. Then we'll find some new.
Chris is
new
bound to be.
riders.
Chris is maybe going to be the youngest dude right now,
Yeah.
right? He's a young
Yeah,
guy.
what is he, like 20 or something?
Yeah,
21?
we'll talk to him and we'll get him in here. We won't even know what he's talking about. We'll be so out of the loop. What?
TikTok? What the?
Now we're
Have to
really
have an
showing our
interpreter.
age. Yeah, we'll have an interpreter for the younger crowd. No, we appreciate it, man. It's
Yeah.
always super fun, and
Of
we're
course.
stoked to have you on the team at Madrid, and obviously bringing in new riders, and stoked on your new board, and yeah, man.
Happy
it's
to be
just
in
awesome.
this position.
Can't
Appreciate
wait
you
to
having
see
me
it.
on and talking about
Heck yeah,
a little bit about myself.
absolutely. We appreciate
Yeah.
it, man. Bo,
Good.
closing thoughts.
Good luck with the team. I got a couple of pointers
you.
for you after we
Yeah.
get off this thing.
Off air.
Heck yeah.
Off-air comments.
Well, thanks everybody else for listening. Obviously, check out Daniel on Instagram, which is there's an underscore in there somewhere.
Daniel underscore Yeager.
At Daniel_Yeager. Obviously, check out Madrid Boardcast at the Madrid Boardcast. Obviously, check out Madrid Skateboards at Madrid Skateboards. We'll obviously be announcing some release plans for Daniel's new pro model. We've always got fun stuff. We actually have some new stuff coming down the pipeline with Bo Brown.
Yipes.
Retro reissue stuff happening in 2023, and it's going to be very awesome. So check that out. Listen to wherever you can find us, and please subscribe. And if you enjoy skateboarding and the history and all this stuff, tell a friend or two, and keep listening. And we'll be back with more episodes in the future. We thanks everybody for checking in.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, Daniel.